Hi guys, we're here in Mexico with one special, very special person. I'm gonna talk about in 1 second, and we have a special interview with this person today. It's not something you usually do, correct?
That's right.
It's the second one that you do.
Is the second? Shall we call this a podcast
or
interview?
Interview podcast. I mean, it's just a conversation between me and you and the whole industry.
Yeah.
Because I think there are some things that we need to say. At least I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like some easy ones about your story and some other things about the industry. But first of all, I want to say something about you, Moyn, because I feel that people need to see you through my lenses as well. As you know, this is on my channel, and the thing I love the most about you, not talking about let's say network marketing and the company and B and so on, it's that you're not salesy, you know. And this is weird sometimes because we're in network marketing and we're used to people selling us things, you know, like selling us a vision, selling us a service, a product, and telling us why it's the best one. And it's intriguing for me that you're somehow so genuine that, and you know what you have in your hands, that it's weird because I'm kind of begging you sometimes to push more what we have here, correct? Because you're like so sure that what you have, what you've built, it's so amazing that I think sometimes maybe you don't even wanna talk about it too much because it's like, yeah, it's the best thing. Why should I shout it? But I think people need to know. But just know between me and you that I love this because it's like you don't have to convince me that what you have is amazing. You're just like, hey, if you want, come check. That's how it happened to me, you know?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, bro. I mean, it's like I've been sold a lot of things. I've been sold to a lot of things. And then I went out there and sold it the same way, only to find out it wasn't what they said it would be.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good feeling. So I think from that experience, I went into a mode of not selling it to a point. Now I hear from you a lot is like you're underselling it.
Yes.
It should be more.
Yes.
We should be talking about what we have more. So I really
true.
appreciate what we're doing here. I think I don't do this often. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Amazing. But it's so true, bro. I think leaders in general have the wrong perception of how they should build network marketing. Like, I think, me too, I got used to leadership first, compensation plan first,
Right.
and then the rest we will figure it out.
Right.
So why do you think this is a wrong approach? Because I've come to a point after almost 9 years in the industry where I feel myself, I cannot build something long-term, feeling energized and fired up if I really do not believe this is gonna go somewhere.
Right.
Maybe it's because I've made enough money, you know, like some people think enough money to basically feel I'm eligible for something better.
Right.
But I need to be fired up, bro, if I need to build this business because I know how much it takes to work and travel and do all these things. So I need to feel that in the place I am, I can really build that legacy company we always talk about. So what do you think about this?
I think like nowadays, I think for a very long time, network marketing in generally been in a way where people are always selling the opportunity first, and when I say opportunity is the compensation plan, is the leadership, is the corporate structure. And so people selling the opportunity in terms of how much money you can make from the compensation plan. And most companies out there, if we are talking about selling product and services, but most successful companies are based around products. And so most people, when they first decide to join the industry, they don't think about how great the product is. They think about, oh, I could join this opportunity and change my life by selling, you know, this product and services, and I can make commission out of it. For me, my first company was a service-based company, right? And the product that I was selling was something I was already using, like gas and electricity, SIM card, and things like that. So I didn't get excited necessarily about these products because there was nothing unique about it. but rather I was excited about the opportunity that I can sell this and actually make money from the compensation plan. So in that company, I wasn't leading with the product, I was leading with the opportunity. And that's the case with most companies. They are always leading with the opportunity, and most people are joining not because of the product, they're joining because of the opportunity. Because product nowadays, you can actually find because of social media, Amazon, all of those shifts happen in the industry. Consumers can easily do a check, a comparison, right? And so we have to ask ourselves, the company that we are part of, is people coming in our opportunity because of the product, or are they coming in because of the opportunity?
Yeah, so true. I feel there is a big shift in the industry. Like the industry somehow, and leaders want more transparency, first of all.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. Maybe it's because I feel it. I think everyone feels the same, but again, perception. But me talking to a lot of leaders in different companies, I feel that they want transparency. So they want to see that what they sell is really valuable.
Right.
They are kind of fed up of selling BS. And also because you can not only rely on leadership and people pushing, because before or later, it's gonna be draining for you.
Right.
At least that's what I feel. If I still had to sell myself a dream, it wouldn't be worth it. Because after years and years and years, you kind of become delusional. You're like,
Right.
what am I even doing here?
Right.
So I'm happy that I'm seeing this shift in the industry, because I feel this industry deserves a lot, and I know you have a big love for the industry as well.
I think you're right. There is a shift in perception as well, in terms of what people want to get out of this industry. And there's this new movement of leaders like yourself who want something real, something long-term, something that is product-driven, because you understand that it cannot just be about, leadership. It cannot just be about the opportunity of the network marketing, which is the compensation plan. It has to be something beyond that. And I think this new wave is coming from young people like yourself. And also, it's really, I'm really happy to see that this is happening. That there is a shift taking place, but there's a lot of work needs to be done, because just like you have this perception, there's the other perception where people just want to ride the wave of momentum. They're looking at which is the next big leader jumping to another best thing.
So true, and what I see is that people are able to build only when there's momentum.
Right.
So as soon as momentum goes away, and there's that classic normal obvious phase of a company growing through phases, they're like, but this company is no more momentum, so let me jump to another company where I can find momentum. So I feel that there's so many weak leaders out there that they can only build if there's momentum.
Right.
And fortunately enough, in my career, I always built without momentum.
Right.
I never picked a company with momentum before I picked B at this moment in time. Because now we're in momentum, we heavily, I wouldn't say we're in momentum, we say we're in a momentum pre the big momentum.
Right.
I don't know if you feel what I'm saying. Like we're in momentum, we're producing a lot of millions in revenue, but we're like, all the industry is under rating, I think, in this company. And so the big momentum is coming as soon as the word starts spreading.
I think obviously the momentum happening in B right now is happening a lot through organic leadership, I would say, right? And so for us, what's happening right now is amazing. It's always the next level. But if you ask maybe other people, right, for them, momentum is when a lot of influx of existing leaders joining B, which is happening, but not like other companies. And that's because they don't understand what we have. And a lot of it is my fault, okay? Because like you said, we are underselling. We are underselling. in a way, I feel really good about it, because I never wanted a leader come to me and say, well, you promised this,
Yes.
you know, and we don't have that. You promised this 1 year ago. We don't have that. I rather deliver and say, here it is.
Yes.
You know, and that's the problem we have. It's like we're delivering things
So much, and people don't perceive the hype. Instead of the companies, they're launching the app.
Yeah.
And there's so much hype. And
Yeah.
but it's so true. I mean, another trend I see in the industry, it's leaders defending their own companies without even looking at other companies and knowing what's out there. So they're like, my company is the best one. My company is the best one. My educators are the best one.
Right.
My signals are the best one. My ideas are the best ones.
Right.
Fortunately enough, when I joined BE, I was already 6 years and a half old in the industry.
Yeah.
So I wasn't naive at all. And before I joined this company, I had the call with, I don't even know how many other companies, owners and CEOs and stuff. So I always tell people, I picked this company consciously, very consciously. Matter of fact, as soon as Sage Master was launched,
Right.
which was in 2022.
Yeah.
And so I know what's around. And that's why, again, I'm fired up. And instead, another trend I see, again, it's like people saying defending their own company.
Right.
And I'm like, defend your own company till the end. I'm like, do whatever you like. But be aware, not only because you want to change company, stay in the company, but at least you know what's your competition. That's what I tell
Right.
people. Like, you need to know who are your enemies, even though we love each other and everyone and so on and so forth, but it's important to know your enemy, correct? Like Sun Tzu used to tell.
And I like the fact that how you chose B, right? Because you had opportunity
And many deals offered to me.
Yeah, and you had opportunity to follow people who you respected as well, because what they have done in the industry. And many people in your position would say, no, I'd rather just follow the person who have such a big results. And if I just follow them, I know I'm gonna be good. And you have the opportunity to be good. But you said, no, I'm gonna really choose something that is good, not just for me, but for my current team and my future team. And you're one of those people who really did proper thinking.
Dissected,
and
yes.
too many people don't think for themselves, right? They
Yes.
just think like, well, who's going to the next big thing, and I'm just gonna follow blindly.
I agree.
Without doing like proper comparison.
Yes. More rationality would be needed somehow.
Right.
Like people who calmly open their eyes. Even because in today's day and age, people are gonna, before or later, look at other places. They're gonna get a DM.
Right.
They're gonna get a DM. So I never train my team on to be blind.
Right.
I don't lead my team with fear and anger towards other companies or putting the blinders on. I'm like, guys, I want a team who is conscious. I want that you know what you're building and why you're building it, and I want that you really know the comparisons. If you feel like maybe there are better opportunities, go and check. And everyone always came back.
Yeah, I always say that, you can go and check, and people have done that. And I always say that the old roads lead back to B, because we literally built this company to be a home. And we can talk more about that, but it has happened. We have seen people, went around because they thought maybe the grass is greener on the other side, but they came back. And there are people who want to come back, and sometimes, they think like, should I come back? And the door is always open here in B for people, right? And so I think like it's good to be completely open-minded, but at the same time, you really need to know what you're looking for, right? And you need to be able to understand what is the future, right? And what is the company doing to be prepared for the future? Because it's also not about who has the best product right now, because there was a time we didn't have the best product, but people said, you know what, we believe this is the right place, because they understood we are thinking like 10 years ahead. And that's the company you gotta wanna be part of, because how many companies went out of business this year, right? How many companies went out of business last year that was doing billions of revenue?
Yes.
AI came and literally disrupted. And so we see this massive change that's taking place. And the companies who don't work for the things that's going to be good in the future, they will be out of business.
Yes.
So it's really, for us, like, I wanted to be part of a company that's not just good enough for today. It has to be good enough for next 5 years, 10 years and beyond. And that has to come from a certain mind frame. You got to have certain foundation. And many companies not necessarily get this right. They get this wrong in terms of which industry they want to be part of. But we are so grateful that we chose an industry and that is going to be relevant 10 years from now.
Yes.
Right? And we have proven that with what we have delivered with SageMaster.
Yes.
So that's,
now we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, you're talking with the CEO of BE.club, Mr. Moyn Islam. I'm so proud to be working with him. The heart of this person is big, and his brothers. And so before we jump into other questions, I have one point for you. How and where does this heart come from? How come? You always been like this?
Well, I think like my life has completely transformed in ways that I could never imagine because of this industry, you know? So my heart was always in a place of, let's just say, a limited ambition because of who I was back then. I grew up alongside my sibling. I didn't have my dad. My dad passed away when I was 6 months old. And let's just say we grew up in a very less than average background. And my dream in life was to have a good paying job, right? That was my dream. And I thought if I just work hard, I would be able to maybe accomplish the things that I want to do, like travel around the world by the age of 40. Like that was my thing. But when I saw network marketing, it made me believe that I could be someone beyond this. I could be someone that people could look up to, you know? Because there's a blueprint. You can follow other people who literally walk the same path and you can become successful. So the heart really comes from the love of this industry, because without this industry, I'm nothing, you know? So I think that's where, you know, everything transformed to be and to who we are today.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see the first question I have here in my notes. So you were speaking about your story. So 3 things about your story that you want to share. Maybe quick.
3 things. Well, number 1, I'm a distributor first, right? Had my challenges, up and downs.
And you've built international teams as well.
Big international teams alongside my brother. So, you know, me and my other brother, we both built as a distributor. And then the second part of our story is like my younger brother, Ehsan, who's the CTO of the company. He never done network marketing. But there was one point when we became successful as a distributor. I remember telling Ehsan that, hey, why don't you quit your job and come along? And he's like, what am I gonna do? And we're like, we'll figure it out. And you're gonna figure your space here. And he loved tech, and he was working for a very good company, very well-paid company and so forth. But we knew somehow in our heart, maybe he can play a role. But one thing we said to ourselves is that we will not do the things for him. You know, I truly believe that if someone is capable of doing something and you do it for them, you disempower them. So that was our mindset, is that he has to find his place, you know. But we just felt this was the right industry to be part of. So he was around us, never built anything in terms of network marketing side. And over time, we figure out his strength, because he was helping the companies on their tech side that we're part of whenever they were facing challenges. And that is the moment when we realized that, oh, this guy really doesn't care about money. He really likes to work really hard, and he loves the idea of delivering something good for the customers. And I think fast forward many years later, when we decided to leave the industry because of some bad experiences, and when we did decide to come and we were looking for a specific type of company, that company that needed to be long-term, that company that we can call our home, because we don't want to jump from one thing to another thing to another thing. We couldn't find that company. And so Asan was a missing puzzle where we realized maybe we are the right person, because he knows tech really well and we want to be part of a tech-based company, you know? And so, was it 3 things? I think that's 3 things.
I think it was 2.
It was 2, okay. So that's the first and second part. And the third part is that I tell people, I don't know how this sounds, but we created B for a selfish reason. What I mean by that is that I love this industry. I always tell people, if you cut me in half, you'll find network marketing written in it, right? Because what he has done for us, our family, and we've seen so many other families' lives changed, right? So we really wanted to be part of a company that's long-term, that built on a very solid foundation, and so that we don't have to move from one thing to another thing. And that's why we created this company, and we thought to ourselves that we will attract people who are similar to us, who are looking for a home. So that's really the third part of the story, is that we didn't create B because of thinking, let's create $1 billion company, but rather let's create a home for ourselves.
And I think people somehow think that aggressiveness cannot go with long term.
Right.
You know, like especially older people that maybe they're like me, they've been building in product based. When you're in a product based, like I was, you always look at services. Like somehow it's a scam. Before or later, even if it's not a scam, it's gonna go out of business because it pays too much. And I think they don't understand the scalability of a well done service based company and all the things that you do to manage the corporate side. But yes, I wanted to just throw this out there in terms of aggressiveness of a comp plan and scalability can definitely go with long term.
100%.
Why do you say that's 100%?
Number one, I think maybe service-based companies were not really there in our network marketing industry. But if you talk about non-network marketing companies that are service-based, right, they are dominating. If you look at the largest top 20 Fortune 500 companies, they're all tech-based, right? All service-based, one way or another. Back in maybe, 30, 40 years ago, maybe you'd find some oil company on the top. But now that's not the case. So we know that product around service is become almost like a necessity.
Yes.
So it's all about a real product that solves the real problems, right? And that product cannot be outsourced. Because if you're outsourcing, just because it's a service-based service or product, it doesn't mean it doesn't have its cost. It still has its cost, right? And so what I say is that it can be sustainable. Number one is that you gotta be the creator of the product, right? It has to be unique, because that's the special thing about this industry. You get to sell a product that people cannot find elsewhere. If you're selling a product that anyone can find it everywhere else, I feel like you are going to have a disadvantage. If you can have a unique product that is created by yourself, then that's more powerful than selling the, kind of like buying and just putting your brand name, which a lot of companies do. So you got to be creator of the product. You have to own the entire supply chain process. So if you look at companies like Amway, they are the creator of the product. They control every aspect of the product, all the way to selling to the end consumer. Too many companies, service-based, they don't own the product. They are getting it from somewhere else. They don't have tech team, completely outsourced. So if you have everything outsourced, it can be unsustainable.
Right.
But if you have everything in-house, number one, you can pay higher commission because you own the product. You don't have too many third-party people to pay, right? So yes, you can pay more money than a physical product.
Of course,
right?
I mean,
And number two is that it's sustainable because it's more sustainable because you don't have inventory.
Yeah.
It's actually less risky than having a physical product.
To open other countries, you can get in much faster
Yeah.
than products.
So it is 100% more sustainable when it comes to selling a service than selling a physical product. Long as the product solves a real value, it has a value in the market, and you control the entire supply chain of that product creation, because then you can pay high commission.
It means that there must be a CEO, or I mean, a corporate structure that is really efficient and someone who's managing it correctly.
Of course, because especially on the tech world, if you know, like developers, it can be very difficult
To work with.
And they could really overcharge you, right? And we see this example all the time. We are seeing this right now. This big news just came out how this company called DeepSeek, right? The other Chinese version of the OpenAI, that they spent 5 million to launch this versus another company spent billions and billions. So sometimes it's not about how much money you can spend, right? It's about being able to be efficient. But imagine if the founder is not tech driven, that can be a big challenge for a lot of companies, because you know they are outsourcing everything, so they can really get overcharged in everything, and sometimes you are not delivering the product in a fast manner, in a timely manner, in a world where things are changing so fast.
Correct.
But at the same time, you cannot rush things, right? You gotta start with a very good foundation, and if you have that, then you can really compete, you know. And that's what we managed to do with SageMaster. We managed to build a product that took very long time to build the foundation, but now things move really, really fast.
The updates are every month basically. There's an update.
Exactly.
It's incredible, and I love also the fact that you speak sincerely. I mean, you know, like I hope guys that you see that it's not saying it's easy, you just have to do A/B. No, I mean, I think you're understanding the complexity of building a company like this, because this is the protection.
Right.
Because I speak to, we're gonna do the same, we're gonna build the software like this, and I'm always like, good luck. Actually, I hope they start, so they lose so much money,
right,
and they don't get anywhere,
Yes.
and then they're like, shit, we cannot. So, all right, another question. So, why do you consider BE.club a healthy company? Healthy in terms of healthiness of the company.
No, number one reason is that we essentially did everything in-house. Nothing about the company is outsourced, right? Including the shop where people make payment with. We are not using a third-party provider like, I don't know, Shopify, or a lot of companies are using, let's just say, a back office provider that's also giving them where customers purchase the product, right? So it's just an example. We didn't have to build that. We could just use it that already exists. Maybe it's faster to get started, but we choose the hard way, right? We choose the hard way because we had a very long-term mindset, is that we said, we don't want to touch things just because it's fast. We want to have a lot of control over everything we do, because if we have control over it, we can innovate. So a lot of companies you see, they say, oh, we are going to innovate. Well, you can't, because you don't control anything. You don't have the foundation built. You focus so much on getting revenue and launching something very quickly to showcase, and forgot to really do the real work. And so if you notice something about us since the beginning, 2018, we never sold the vision, right?
Yes.
We delivered and then we sold. We delivered and then we sold. We don't sell the vision.
Yes.
We only sell what we have, right? Although we have a lot of things on the pipeline.
Yes.
Right, but we don't sell
Yeah,
them.
some companies live in the future. Yeah, we will do.
Exactly.
These companies like, we've done. Yeah, we will do so many things that we've done.
Yeah, exactly. So that's number one. Is like everything we do from a product perspective is all in-house. Anything we do when it comes to operation perspective in-house. I mean, we have you've visited our HQ so many times. You see all the employees, you see all the departments.
How many people are working now for?
We have over 200 people.
Wow.
Work for us full time, right? And the team has become so vast, right? But very organized. You have, Sage Master team, and you have the Wow education team, right? The development team, and then you have the core leadership team, right? So everything is in-house, we don't have like contractors, right? All those things. We don't have a lot of companies use consultants, that doesn't mean that we don't reach out the best knowledge. We do, but we do everything by ourselves. And that gives us this healthy situation in the company, because we get to be very cost efficient. We recently bought a major company called Tune.com, right? And Tune.com, it's another topic to discuss, but let's just say it's a huge platform. It was founded by ex-Facebook founding member engineers and has huge potential. But the problem was that they were losing money every time they were acquiring customer, because the way the technology stack they chose, right? Whereas in BE, in products that we have, we don't lose money when we acquire a customer. From the first customer, we are profitable. As an example, we don't lose. So it's healthy in that aspect.
Yes.
You see a lot of tech companies, they're unhealthy. They're growing, but they are unhealthy.
Yeah, revenue doesn't equal healthiness.
Exactly. So we have that aspect. And then when we talk about network marketing aspect, that's another big thing, right? Because how are you growing as a company? Are you growing in a healthy way, or are you growing in an unhealthy way? Example of unhealthy way is that you see companies are literally doing, so many fly-ins. They are doing so many deals. They are attracting maybe the next big number one, and they're offering different type of, deals to these people to grow. We never did. We actually never did fly-ins to launch a BE. We're the only company that didn't do any flying to actually launch the company. We said we are going to grow organically, and that meant that if people see the value in the product and services, that's the people we want.
Yes.
Because you cannot build a residual income just based on leadership and compensation plan, and it's just not going to happen. And my idea of network marketing was, I can do something once, acquire a bunch of customers, and get paid residual income, not just from recruitments, not just from team building, right? I need to be able to make money from customers who use the product and services, no matter the leadership.
Yes.
Right? And that was my idea of network marketing. Otherwise, it's a job.
Yes.
And I don't want to do a job,
Yes.
So how we are acquiring, I'm super grateful, because we are very healthy in that aspect. We don't have deals. We don't have all those unhealthy situations that company put themselves
Too
in.
much marketing.
too much marketing. They want also credibility, right? So they overspend on the marketing. They go hire the next brand ambassador, and I'm not saying anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that
that's an equal healthy.
Yeah, just because you have huge customer base, you could be very unhealthy from the inside. So we said no, we are gonna grow organically, but in a healthy way, you know. So that's,
I think sometimes velocity goes to the head of people,
right?
In terms of we want to go fast, we want to go fast, we want to go fast. It's like there's this culture of fast in 2020, in 21st century in general.
Yes.
And of course, on one side it's a good thing to go fast. On the other side, I think it's sometimes it's rushing. Some companies are rushing, and before or later they're gonna crash. And also leaders, they have a perspective of just growing and hit the next rank, but then what are you even building?
Right.
So
I think how I see it is the field is like, we as a company don't take credit. I say, Giorgio, you want to build this fast, you decide how fast you want to go. From a company perspective, we kind of taken a back seat on that. We said, hey, you know what? I am going to work so hard on making sure that we have this healthy company from the inside, so that you don't come to me and say, Moyn, because of you, I lost the market. Because of you, the company is like behind, out of trend. A product doesn't have value no more, you know? I don't want you to come to me and say that. I'd rather you come to me and say, well, you know, is there something we can do on the marketing, and so that we can speak more? I'd rather have this conversation because I know those things we can always improve and solve. But if I focus so much on the field, right, and don't do the things that is necessary for a network marketing company to do, then it's something that you cannot solve and I cannot solve. But sales, I know you can solve. You can go out there and spread the word what we have, and I know it's gonna happen, right? Sooner or later. Maybe it's gonna be later a little bit because we are not growing unorganically like a lot of companies. But at least you know you're building something on a solid foundation that's gonna stand the test of time.
And that's what you did in Italy, for example, and that's what you did in Morocco. Like for those who don't know, like this company, when required, opens the legal entity, and then we go work in the market. And usually companies do the other way around, correct? Like they tell the leader, go open the market when there's enough people, we're gonna do the legal requirements. But yes. So another company I had was, a question I had was, how is it to work with your brothers?
Well, it's been an incredible journey. First of all, I would say is that before we started BE, we were already working together. So we kind of knew like each other's strength, right? I think the biggest achievement we managed to do is that we stay on our strength. You know, we don't overlap on the role. Yes, it's a family business, but at the end of the day, we follow proper corporate structure, right? You know, so I stick.
Was always like this? You managed from the get-go to say like, I'm the CEO, you're the CTO, like you don't...
Not exactly. Well, in the beginning, like I never wanted to be the CEO. Like that, that's the last thing I wanted to be. In fact, we had a CEO in our first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had a CEO. He was a German CEO, very, you know, very good on paper, huge credibility. You know, he was a world champion in one of the things like dancing or something like that. Still world champion, like it requires a lot of dedication, work ethic, and also worked for a massive, you know, Fortune 500 company. So he had everything you can think of that a CEO need to have. But, you know, very soon we realized that it wasn't working out because we didn't create BE with an exit plan. We did it with our heart. This is our home, you know, and it requires a different level of drive, different level of dedication, and it wasn't the same. So yes, in the beginning it looked great for the public. Oh my God, they have such a credible CEO with this amount of experience. but in reality, it wasn't the same.
Yes.
The work that is required, it wasn't the same. So the logical step was that fingers were being pointed at me that I needed to, take that role that I didn't want it to take, because I didn't feel that I am capable of that. First of all, that's why we hired someone who really knows how to do operation. So in the beginning, it was very difficult for me in the sense of I knew I needed to work 10 times harder than other CEOs to get half of what they have. So first, 3 years has been extreme amount of dedication and work. But my main goal was to build this foundation in the company, build the team in a way that is very healthy. And that's like my biggest flex, you could say, is that the corporate structure that we have.
Yes, massive.
And the retention we have in the company. I mean, we have in our corporate, we have 90% retention within our employees. And that's huge. Like some of the managers from different departments, they've been in the company since the beginning. There are some managers who left and then decided to come back. That happened too,
So next question I have for you, it's what do you think about this crypto bull market? Because sorry for the question, which could be strange and weird as we're speaking about other things, but I want people to understand that and you're not building something where you are basically unaware of what's happening, because you are heavily are blah, 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 okay. So another question I have is, what do you think about this crypto bull market? Because you know a lot about crypto, and I think it's also interesting for people to know that and your perspective on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in this industry, whole crypto, almost a decade now, and so I had my good times and bad times in the industry.
I see you posting sometimes about memes going.
So I started my journey with a bad experience, and then I went into doing a lot of different things, including mining Bitcoin, mining Ethereum. And the first time I made the mistake of going for a wrong company, let's just say an ICO type of concept. After that, I never ever went into a coin that is like a scam, right? Because I learned my lesson, and I say that if you don't learn your lesson in this industry, you're gonna keep on losing a lot of money, right? So I've been extremely satisfied with the industry, right? It has done a lot for me because I've learned my lesson very quickly from the first mistake and never repeated it again. And my idea of this industry is that this is only the beginning. It's here to stay. And I think now we are living in a time where nobody doubts if it's the future. It is the future. But the question is, okay, which coin is going to be around by then? That's something is a question mark. It depends on how the government around the world manage this, because I truly believe that the government have to be involved. The regulation has to come in place for this to become truly global, right? It's like the telecommunication deregulation. When it came, it went boom, right? But the people who are in the industry, they benefited the most when they were in the industry the right way. They benefited the most when the government really got involved. So I don't think, a lot of people think government getting involved is a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing.
Maybe for the philosophy of some people who are like anti-government stuff, they hate this. But where the government goes, money flows. So
exactly, and they gonna have to come in and protect it. It's something that the people want, so they are following, and they know they have to follow. So they are gonna put in rules place to safeguard the people. Right, that's what people want at the end of the day. They are there to safeguard people, and that's why people put them there. So how I see the industry is that I've seen literally, and I'm coming back to your question about bull run because my perspective is very different. I never wait for a bull run about this industry, you know. How I think is that the biggest winners of the industry right now are the people who took time to educate themselves in this industry.
Yes.
You know, some of the biggest billionaires in the crypto space, if you look at the story, you will see that they are very knowledgeable about the industry. They didn't think which coin should I buy and become rich. No,
Yes.
they really spend their time learning about the technology, right? And now they are in a great situation. So my idea of the industry is like start with learning first. And that's what we managed to do here in B, is that we said, if you educate yourself and if you stay in this industry long enough, you will make a lot of money,
Yes.
period. And you don't have to wait for a bull run to make that money, because people who do that, 97% of the people are gonna lose,
So
if not 99%. So my idea has always been is that, you know, start in an industry in a healthy way, in a sustainable way, because it's still the beginning. You don't need to rush it. Start in a very, you know, low risk way into the industry. That's like my advice. Like don't go for the next meme coin.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so what do you perceive as competition to B.club?
I mean, competition is always healthy in general, but we really need to separate two things in our industry. And I think sometimes it gets mixed up in terms of competition. How I see network marketing is just a way of marketing, right? And what are you marketing is really the question. So we have to compare the product, in my opinion, because I cannot compare with another company that is not in the same industry in terms of the product wise. And because that's what I feel the most responsible for is the product, the foundation, how we are doing as a company. I don't feel 100% responsible for success of the sales. I feel responsible for the infrastructure. So yeah, we can compare infrastructure, we can compare product and say, well, our competitor is companies like TradingView, which is a software company. They're offering a solution for, you know, very advanced level traders who know what they're doing, right? But our platform has become for people who don't know what they are doing. They're just starting out, or people who know what they are doing, right? If we compare their user base and our user base, we have a long way to go. But if we look at their feature to what we have, we are coming very close. And so our goal is to really become the top 5 financial tech platforms in the world. So this is where our eyes are at when we say competition. If we're gonna compare another company, they really have to offer a product that is coming close to ours, right?
Yes.
So this is really important for us.
Yes. It's beautiful on one side to be underrated. That's what I also feel from a leadership perspective, to really know that as soon as normal people look into the services, even though they don't know anything, they're like, they understand. And so I love to know that there's a long way to go to get to, the customer base of TradingView and these places. But if you know the space of trading and investing, then you really know we're gonna get there. It's just only ignorant people cannot see the trajectory.
Right.
And this gives me calm, if I have to say.
And we really don't have a competitor, I'm sorry to say, in our industry, because no one actually has a product like ours in that space. They just don't have it.
Yes.
So
it's boring. Everyone has signals, if you want to call it this way, and education.
Yeah, that's it. And then this is not enough. Even education, they're very much behind, right? Because it's all passive learning, video based. It's not enough. Like, people want something fun, interactive, and anyone should be able to do it. We live in a world where like attention is everything, right? And if it's like learning a complex topic, video based, nobody is learning. And this is the biggest problem with the companies who are offering Forex education or trading education with the network marketing model, because they grow, but none of their affiliates know the product or understand the product. And that's because the education is not good enough. And so this is where we also came in and innovated that aspect of it, because our education is very interactive. And I would say no other, even non-network marketing company who are into Forex education don't have what we have. So we are really putting a new standard when it comes to education within our space.
Yes. So if there's something you would want now, what it would be? Like, I want, imagine you're Aladdin.
Okay. Good question. I mean, what I want is more success stories in the company, more people to take a serious look into B, because I feel like a lot of people maybe heard about B, but they really don't know B. So I would be really happy to see people looking into B with a serious look, because I think if they do, then for sure we'll grow much faster. Don't get me wrong, I am super happy with what we have achieved. I mean, we have paid out, hundreds of millions of dollars in commission, and
I've taken some.
You've taken 100%, and that's incredible. I'm extremely happy for that. But I think like we've come to a point where we have done the work, where we are ready for massive growth, and it's going to happen one way or another. And if someone looking into to be part of a service-based company, definitely I would say take a serious look at B. And that's what I would want. I would want more people to look into B very objectively, very logically, and say, maybe this is my home. This is where I can plant my flag and build a residual income and stop jumping from one company to another company, right? So that would make me happy, because every time we do like convention and I see the success stories, it makes me so happy and makes me want to work even harder, because that's what I love about this industry. The contentment you get seeing other people succeed, that you cannot get in any other industry.
And you've seen lots of network marketers coming and going through any company, in this space. What are the biggest mistakes big network marketers make? Not the small rep just joined.
Right.
The big leader. What have you seen are the biggest mistakes?
The biggest mistake I think they are making is, well, it depends what we're talking about. Like, if we talk about leaders who are sometimes moving from one company to another company, that can happen. I understand. We've seen some crazy things happen within the industry. We've seen companies go out of business after 30 years, product based, right? We've seen companies that stopped the network marketing side. They decided to just go, no network marketing, just continue as a normal company. We've seen that happen. It's really sad to see, right? And so people are really checking, okay, where do I go next? And they have done incredible things in the industry, right? And I think I've seen when they're choosing a new home, they're making the mistake of not realizing that the product is a big aspect if they want a long-term home, a huge factor to it. Because sometimes leaders end up thinking I got success, what I got based on just of my leadership. And if they really track back their success, and if they really built a solid residual income, a lot of the credit would actually go back to the customers, right? Without the customers, you wouldn't have created residual income. So if that's the case, when you're looking for a new opportunity, you have to understand that your future has to be to do with a company that is product led.
Yes.
And so they make the mistake of thinking it doesn't matter. Product
Yes.
is not so important, long as the company can sell me a vision that one day they will do something. One day they will do this. And that's a big risk for you. If you are just joining a company because of the promises. Because when people join, they're not joining the company, they're joining you. They don't understand the company. They're expecting you to make the right decision. And then they're going to come with you, and then you will not be able to sustain your organization, although you might build a massive organization again, right? Because who you are, your skill set, what you have done for people, people will follow you, but you will not be able to sustain it. So that's like one mistake I've seen that happen. The second mistake I've seen, and that happens when a leader has to rebuild, right? Because that happens when we have to rebuild, and this is normal in our industry, right? And why is it sometimes someone have success and then they cannot rebuild again? And what I say is that when you first started in the industry, you're a nobody. You have to start from scratch. Then you become somebody. And then you forget to become nobody. So you're too big to do the small things. So you think like everyone should come and speak to you, join you, do all of those things. But you're not willing to do the work necessary that you did in the beginning for you to get to where you are. And so when you're not willing to do that, then you will not be able to rebuild. It's nice if some people join you when they join you and they are existing leaders who have a lot of leadership capability. It's nice, right? But if it doesn't happen, can you build with someone who has no experience, right? Can you go recruit new people? Are you willing to do that? And I've seen some people are not willing to do that. They are not willing to eat shit, I like to say. And then they are not able to replicate the success they once had.
Love it. Yeah, this concept of going back to nobody.
Right.
Yeah, it's like reshaping the idea you have of yourself, because some leaders they think they got big when they start making 30,000 a month, 60,000, even 100,000 or more.
Right.
And they think that makes them a king or a queen.
Right.
But
yeah.
Sometimes I'm too hard, and that with other people and with myself. Like, come on. I was with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and I said, "Shit, I did nothing." And he was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did nothing. I need to work more." He was like, "Don't tell yourself this." I'm like, "No, I did nothing. Like I'm screwed up. I need to go back." So that sparks me up.
Right.
But I know to so many people that's not the case, and definitely.
And it's amazing to see how you built your organization. You have created so many success who had no prior experience, or having the first big breakthrough in this industry. And so it's really incredible like how you're doing it, because many leaders, they're just waiting for leaders to join, but you are building your organization with leading by example, and the work ethic, and I think that's what's needed in the industry. There's no such a thing as retiring. You can only retire once you have millions of customers who are using your service, right?
Correct.
No matter what. Otherwise, you have to be on the grind. You have to be, and for you to be able to do that, you have to have love for this industry.
Yes, passion.
Right? You've got to have that passion.
Another big mistake I see is that so many leaders, they go chase the next shiny thing,
Yes.
which is either another company or they build their own company.
Oh yes.
It's like they,
Yes.
they didn't even achieve maybe the top of the career plan, and they're like, you know what, now it's my next big thing is
Yeah.
to build a company. While the way I think it's like my next big thing is to open a new enrollment line.
Right.
You know, like that's my insurance.
Yeah.
I call them insurance
Right.
lines.
Right.
So every time I harvest, I'm always planting. So
Right.
I'm a harvester and I'm a planter at the same time. So yes, I'm making money, but I'm also planting seed for
Right.
future leadership and so on and so forth. Because I think we forget in network marketing as distributors how beautiful it is to make this high quality income.
Right. Right.
And you as a CEO, you know that's a different job being a CEO
Yes.
than a distributor. And we distributors, we forget how beautiful is it to
Yes.
have trips like this one in Mexico for free, everything
Yeah.
paid and this and that. And of course we work and we earn what we make, but it's a high quality income. And
100%. I mean, look, I have seen this mistake happen with so many people. They're incredible individual in the field, but not necessarily, you know, they want to do corporate. And I say they want to because I never want to say to anybody they are not capable of doing it, because I believe that if you put in the work, you can do it. It's not that you can't, but the question is, do you want to do it? Because then that's where the issue is, because you are a superstar in what you're doing and you love what you do, but now you're thinking, no, maybe I can be a founder, right? And you jump there and you realize, oh my God, this is not what I was expecting. This is not something I want to do.
Yes.
And it's not like you're going to end up making more money, because you can really make a lot of money being a distributor.
Yes. Yes.
And it's crazy. And I've seen talent get wasted.
Yes.
Of people doing that.
I think they're not trained by a mentor that tells them, hey, this is not the way to go. I mean,
right.
At the end of the day, who are we to tell what people should do? Yeah. But I had mentors in my career in network marketing that really taught me, hey, look, I've done that. Yeah. I don't recommend you to go that way. So, or they don't even become founders, but they become coaches.
Right.
And this and that. I mean, anyone can do whatever they had one, of course. And maybe you're called to be a coach. And, but yes, just wanted to point this out because it's a good reminder for all the leaders out there hustling. And
I don't know if this is believable, but I have to tell you that if BE existed back then in 2018, I would join as a distributor, because I never wanted to own a network marketing company. I really just wanted to be part of a company that is founders are going to be willing to sacrifice everything they have to go after that vision and go and be relevant, because the world is changing so fast. And I was looking for some key components a company must have that I couldn't find, and that led us to create BE. Really, it was never the first option, and I can say is that I still feel the same way. I am extremely happy where I am, what I do, because of the end result we see within the industry. And that's why, like, nowadays I get a question like, will you ever stop the network marketing side because your product can sell itself? And I say never, because it's really because the industry is what pulled us into it.
Yes.
The industry is just amazing. People can talk whatever they want, but if you sit down with most successful people in the world, they respect this industry.
Network marketing, yes. Yes. So last question is, what do you want to shout to the industry if you could?
What I want to shout is that I think there are a lot of incredible companies, and I think we can definitely have more unity, and not put each other down. But at the same time, we need to educate people about the industry, right? What makes a company legal? What makes a product legal? How to promote correctly, right? Because it gives a bad name when distributors go out, they promote incorrectly. It gives a bad name when people end up joining bad companies, they thinking it's legal, but in reality it's illegal.
Yes.
So if we can educate our people about the business, you know, about these aspects, the compliance aspect of it, then we can protect this industry more.
Yes.
So maybe the bad players will not be creeping in so much. Pretend to be a network marketing company. In reality, they should not be called one. In reality, they should not be growing. In reality, we should not see leaders joining those companies, and they don't know how to judge what is illegal, what is not legal.
Yes.
And so that's my shout out, is like, if you're a leader, take your time to understand what is legal, what is not legal, and if you're a company, educate your people to do the same, so they are, you know, well informed.
Yes. Guys, Moyn, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think we spent an amazing 1 hour and a half. So guys, drop me a comment here if you found some value. If you have any other questions for Moyn, we can do the round 2 with the third podcast for Moyn. And yeah, in this channel you got a lot of videos, so you can find me on Instagram, you can find Moyn on Instagram. I mean, we're everywhere. So guys, God bless you and see you soon.